People are kind of curious about how solar actually works, and then the other curious part is how does it work for me? How does it actually make enough power to get rid of my electric bill? And that's why we're really here. But how solar works from the physics standpoint is basically photons from the sun knock loose electrons on the surface of the solar cell and creates electricity. Whenever you have an electron flow, that's what electricity is. So what we do is we take a full-size module. Full-size modules are typically about 3 by 5 feet. And we take as many of those as we need based on the electric bill that you have, because some people have a $100 electric bill and some have $500 electric bills. So you need a larger system to offset larger bills. So we would design a system based on that criteria. We place these on the roofs, typically on the west face or south face of the roof. That's where the sun tracks in the northern hemisphere. And we pick up as much sunlight as we can during the day. That translates to electricity. Because this makes DC power, direct current power, like a car battery, we need to invert it. And we invert it from DC to AC by the use of an inverter, which is an electronic device that goes typically on the wall by where your electric panel is. And the solar electric DC comes into that inverter, gets transformed to AC power, and then ties into the grid via the breaker in your box at your house. And because we're able to spin the meter backwards during the day, typically, if you're not there or you're not using much power, the power goes into the grid and literally the meter runs backwards in reverse, gaining you credits. So if you look at an example of if you started at 0 today and you went from 0 to -10, and tonight, because there's no sun out, we're not making power, you went from -10 back to 0, then essentially you'd have no electric bill. And it works a little different than that as the point in the summer months when we have more sunlight. You basically reverse the meter back further than what you'll use back at night, gaining you credits. The credits run forward month to month, and at the end of the year we settle up. We settle up with the utility. If you've made more with the solar panel than you've used, then there'll be a 0 credit. If you've consumed more than you've made with the solar panels, then you'll have to pay that to the utility. Then you start over again. It's called net metering.